Okay, here's another example of what could have been a great debate about the internet and ideology, but somewhere along the way things veered off substance and got personal.
Senator, you're a propagandist. I used to respect you. I don't have any respect for you. And if I were Joseph Lieberman, I would never talk to you again. Because this is vile, and you're legitimizing it.
You make derogatory comments about individuals and groups once every 6.8 seconds. That's 9 times a minute. That's your history here. Go after the...
Now, the point here is not to take sides, but rather evaluate the debate and hopefully raise the level of discourse.
This internet site is a way to express their views every day, which is not a bad way to do this at all.
It's hard to believe.
The fact that there are objectionable people who show up here on this site doesn't discredit everyone else who participates this in a wonderful way to share their views on a variety of subjects.
This raises an interesting question in O'Reilly's argument, which is, what percent of a website's material has to be offensive in order for the site to be considered offensive and therefore illegitimate? 1%? 5%? 50%? And of course, what Chris Dodd was saying is it doesn't matter if there are some offensive things on the site. If you go into any large group, there will always be some people that have offensive views, but you can't use it to delegitimize an entire organization. Listen.
Why are you attacking something like this?
Because it's
broadens
vile.
the debate, allows people
It's vile. That's why.
Well,
doesn't matter how many people go in,
there are a lot of things that you say are vile.
So basically, it doesn't matter how many people use the site. There is vile material on it, and therefore it's a vile organization. But of course, he doesn't really quantify what percent of it is vile, and so he basically says if there is any vile material, then the whole site is vile, and any one part of it is also vile. Now listen how Chris Dodd tries to use numbers in his argument.
You've suggested that we ought not to participate in the convention because 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 people here have said something on this site that's objectionable.
There's thousands of vile postings on that website.
Both of them use numbers to try and enhance their argument, but neither of them put those numbers in any kind of context. Dodd says, well, it's only a few bad apples. O'Reilly says, well, actually, it's thousands. But thousands out of how many? How many posts? 10,000? 100,000? A million? But of course, O'Reilly then says, it doesn't really matter if it's a lot or a few. Just the fact that there's one is too much. Listen to him talk about this one picture.
I'll ask you the question again. You okay with that cartoon, sir?
Of course not. That's not the issue, Mr.
Of course it's the issue.
No,
that's what they do. That's what they do on the site. They do that hate stuff all the time.
Now, clearly this picture is offensive. How offensive? And to whom? Well, that's a matter of opinion. But O'Reilly takes it to the extreme.
To be quite honest with you here, this is the worst stuff on the internet. This is a place where people
worse than this.
No, you're missing.
Now, to say it's the worst is an opinion, which of course everyone is entitled to, but it's not an argument. The real question and what the debate should have been about is if contributing to, or participating, or even just showing up to an organization of which some portion, though it's hard to say how big a portion, makes you liable for the offensive things those members have said. That's an argument worth hearing, and hopefully we'll get to see that soon. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to your comments. I'll see you next time when we take a second look.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.